While Nick Kraft hangs on the brink of the abyss, we turn our attention to another part of the city, and some new faces.
Halt! You shan't be walking away from here with that, lad.
Who are you two supposed to be? A magic act?
You'd better watch what you say to Man o' War and his scintillating sidekick, the stupendous sea urchin.
That'll do, lassie. Now just drop the money and we'll take you in nice and friendly-like.
Come and get me, do-gooders!
Why did you have to say that? Do you really want a row with one who can control the very water itself?
And now for the coup de Gracie.
Oh, shucks. Everybody's gone all heroic.
Come on, Man o' War. This solo stuff is for the birds. We got to join Freedom Force.
That's no place for a wee one like you. We've tumbled with common crooks. They're fighting supervillains.
Where's your sense of adventure?
It went down with me fishing boat.
Fine. Then I'll join them myself, with or without you.
You'll do no such thing. It's too dangerous. You'll get yourself killed. Aye. But your mind's made up, isn't it? Very well. We'll join this Freedom Force. But I know I'll regret it.
Thanks, Man o' War. You're the greatest.
2 new characters are available to be recruited. Visit the team screen to check them out.
Welcome back, good viewer. This is the Skyrider. And yes, we saw the introduction there of 2 new characters, Man o' War and his sidekick, the Sea Urchin. Or as I prefer to call him, Mr. Connery, because we all have to show respect to such great actors, do we not? So, before we go on to discover the fate of Nick, who's lying there on that table there, we will proceed to train our heroes from who leveled up in the last mission and recruit another one.
Prestige points can be spent to recruit new characters. You can also use these points to recruit custom heroes of your own design.
So first of all, we'll just train up all our characters. Last time, Mentor was the only one to level up. Now he's the only one who hasn't leveled up. So, for Diablo, first of all, we will put Tongues of Flame up to 3 and Swift Punch up to 3. For the next 2 levels, I'll probably be saving up to buy Inferno, because even if I didn't spend the money on Swift Punch, I'd have to upgrade that Tongues of Flame to 3 to buy it, and even without it, even with another 600, it's not quite enough. It's off by 8, which is a bit annoying, but in the meantime we'll upgrade even, Swift Punch. Manbot, we will go for just Focus, because that's quite an expensive one to level up, but we've got some good energy-based powers coming up there, so we'll leave it at that. Minuteman we're not going to upgrade at all, because we're going to save up for, I've decided we're going to save up for Vanquish. His other powers are reasonably well leveled up, and we need another 600 at least to get Vanquish. So we're going to do that. And as for our new hero, we have Blackbird, a very cheap hero, some cold-based attacks, but not a particularly interesting character, in my opinion. Well, she doesn't really have much dialogue, and she's like one of the additional characters that was added on as part of a bonus or something. I'm not entirely certain. Yes, one of the only characters with a cold attack in the game, I believe. Excuse me, but not particularly interested in her. We're going to go and Sea Urchin. Underrated, in my opinion. Sea Urchin can be pretty good. She's got some acid-based attacks, not necessarily all that accurate, but you know, she's got a variety of different attacks and she's reasonably fast. But we're going to go for Man o' War, Mr. Connery here, because he's got a good variety of electrical attacks at his disposal, which will come in very useful, certainly, much later on. But more on that later. Now we will proceed onwards to our next mission and discover how young Nick is doing after his encounter with Pinstripe.
Was the transfusion in time? Did my blood save him?
That transfusion was dangerous, Minuteman. Energy X attunes itself to the host upon activation. Nick has received energy attuned to your body. The result? I cannot know.
I can't believe he nearly gave his life for me. This isn't what I signed up for, Mentor.
None of us signed up for anything. I have left my home planet and may never return. And now, I must spend the rest of eternity in exile amongst simple primates who have never even traveled the stars.
He's right. I don't know the meaning of sacrifice. Not like Mentor and that poor brave lad.
Stop right there, senor. You've already saved Patriot City from a nuclear holocaust. Don't be so down on yourself, mi amigo.
I didn't mean for you to see this.
We're getting a reading of Energy X activity down at Ben Franklin Park. Looks serious.
You stay here with El Nino. I'll get a team together.
El Nino. He's a young kid, Diablo, not a Stormfront. But, oh well. Right, so for this mission I think we will take along Man of War to show him off, and Manbot. We'll leave Mentor behind. I really feel for Mentor there, because, you know, what he says is true. How would you like it if you were an alien in a completely, well, alien culture, and forced to remain there for the rest of your life? Just a little, philosophical question that I pose there in between missions, because that's how I roll. However, let us enter the fray.
Mentors established the telepathic link, so I'll monitor your actions from here. Do you see anything?
Not yet, Madre de Dios, I mean...
What's going on down there?
Remind me to get my head examined. Que niña más bonita. What a beauty. And with superpowers to boot. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's move.
Mercy. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't arrived. How can I ever repay you?
Well, perhaps a kiss would suffice.
Keep your shirt on, Romeo. You're lucky I didn't let those dinosaurs turn you into a shish kebab. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to close these portals.
Portals? What are you talking about?
Perhaps it's escaped your notice, but those portals keep popping out overgrown lizards. And unless you want to become lunch, I'd suggest you cover me while I close them portals.
Y'all. So, here we meet up with the Alchemist, a new hero, young college student with mystical powers. And I would just like to take this opportunity to say that just as Diablo is in no way the Human Torch, in like manner, in no way is Alchemist Jean Grey. At all. That would just be silly. I mean, I'm drawing the obvious comparisons here, but to be honest, if you have...
You can't do this! It's the law of the jungle, mister! Freedom Force! Scram!
All this aside... Get in there, gentlemen.
Save us!
Yes, you can probably compare... you know, all of these heroes to some hero in the Marvel or DC or indeed any comic book mythos. But I'm just going for the obvious examples because I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of comic books. Note I said encyclopedic knowledge. Yay! Forcing guys up onto the roof, that's always fun. Right. Onwards, methinks, yes. A few things about this mission. It's just a simple one-parter, there's no multiple parts to it.
This is worse than rush hour. Well, not quite, but close.
I do hate getting stuck in traffic, is that, to be honest, it is, quite frankly, fairly pointless. Well, not pointless, but futile, rather, to try and save all the, all the civilians and so forth, because you can certainly try, and indeed if you can do this without letting any civilians die, then please contact me and say so, and like post a video or something like that, because I'd be very impressed to see it. But for the most part,
That'll teach you.
it's going to be pretty much nigh on impossible to get rid of all these enemies without some civilians dying in the process. Unfortunate, but there you are. So that's one thing to be aware of. The other thing to be aware of is Alchemist, who has fairly low HP compared to the rest of them. That Stormbolt was much like Diablo's Flame in the cutscene. It goes one way, but then the target, it registers as being ever so slightly behind Man of War, or behind the shooter, so it seems to travel backwards. Gotta love glitches. But yes, is to watch out for the Alchemist.
I was only here a second. Behind you, look!
You ain't getting by that easily. I ain't just gonna look the other way.
Because of course if Alchemist goes, then you're screwed, pretty much. Ooh, good job, Man of War. Yes, this is why I like Man of War. His ability to, like, you know, he's got the whole package. You know, he's got
Thanks, Freedom Force.
Good
You're
man.
a credit to the city.
Good man. Oh, War. I'm priceless. You guys have no fun. You just don't appreciate genius. Yes, is to watch out for Alchemist. And no, I've already said that, haven't I? What I was going to say was I like Man of War because he's got sort of a lot of good abilities. You know, he's got good ranged attacks, good melee attacks. He has some knockback abilities, and he's got a good sort of pool of HP. He sounds like Sean Connery. I mean, that's just a win in anyone's book. Did you expect me to talk? Rawr! That's how I imagine the conversation
This is
between
no place for a homecoming queen.
Flaming Dino Burgers coming up.
between Man of War and a dinosaur would go. Come on, get down into the street.
Right here.
That's the one. Stormbolt him in the face in midair. Well, not in midair, but you still stormbolted them in the face. That's an actual verb, by the way, to stormbolt. Rejected. Wallop you. You can finish off gentlemen here. Just a low-powered tongues of flame should do the job. Good man, Diablo. And again, Manbot. Oh, fine, a focus, but that'll do.
Feel the full force of Manbot.
Boom! Ouch. You see, although, you know, that was 28, that was still quite a nasty amount of damage, but Man of War can survive it, so that's all alright. Whee! Flying dinosaurs, the best sort. Speaking of dinosaurs, I'll point one out if I spot one, but I do like the pterodactyls they add into this level. It's just a nice little touch. Ow. See, again, it's high damage, but Man of War can take it into the park.